This video will quickly review how to find the degree and radian measurement of angles when a circle is divided into equal regions. Well, to begin, keep in mind that all the way around the circle, the measure of that angle all the way around is going to be 360 degrees. In radians, that would be 2 pi. 360 degrees and 2 pi are equivalent. 2 pi radians is going to be the same as 360 degrees. Now, if we take our circle and divide it into 4 equal regions, meaning we've got these 4 radii equally spaced around the circle, we're going to find the degree of each angle by taking 360 and dividing by the number of breaks, in this case 4. 360 divided by 4 is going to give me 90 degrees. Each point as we go around the circle will be separated by 90 degrees. So starting in standard position, that is the far right-hand side, and now moving in a counterclockwise direction, like the Ferris wheel, we'll have 0 degrees. The next one will be 90 degrees. 90 plus another 90 would be 180 degrees. That's halfway around the circle. Another 90 degrees would make 270 degrees. That's 3/4 of the circle. And back to where we started, that's 360 degrees. Now in radians, we'll take, instead of going 360 divided by 4, now we'll take 2 pi and divide by 4. That is because 360 degrees is equivalent to 2 pi radians. 2 pi divided by 4 will reduce to 1/2 of pi, therefore pi over 2. So the far right-hand side, the standard position, is still going to be 0 radians. Now, instead of 90 degrees, that's equivalent to pi over 2 radians. Pi over 2 plus pi over 2 would be 2 pi over 2, or pi. Pi is equivalent to 180 degrees. 1 pi plus another pi over 2 is going to be 3 pi over 2. That's equivalent to 270 degrees. And 3 pi over 2 plus another pi over 2 is going to be 4 pi over 2. And 4 pi over 2 is going to be simplified down to 2 pi. 2 pi, again, is 360 degrees. Now let's take and divide it into 8 equal regions. The degree measurements are going to be found by taking 360 and now dividing by 8. 360 degrees divided by 8 is going to be 45 degrees. So if we start at our standard position and start moving in a counterclockwise direction, we're just going to add 45 degrees each time. 0 plus 45 is 45 degrees. 45 degrees plus another 45 degrees is 90 degrees. 90 plus 45 is going to be 135 degrees. And so on, as I go all the way around the circle. Ending back at 360. 315 plus 45 is going to be 360 degrees. Now in radians, we're going to take and set up the problem the same way, except instead of 360 degrees, we're going to use 2 pi. 2 pi divided by 8 can reduce to pi over 4. So again, we're going to start at the extreme right-hand side, standard position, and say that's 0 radians. 0 plus pi over 4 would be pi over 4. Pi over 4 plus another pi over 4 would be 2 pi over 4. 2/4 will reduce to 1/2, so pi over 2. Pi over 2 plus another pi over 4 would be 3 pi over 4. 3 pi over 4 plus another pi over 4 would be 4 pi over 4. 4/4 is 1, so 1 pi. 4/4 plus another 1/4 is now going to become 5 pi over 4. 5 pi over 4 plus another 1 pi over 4 is going to be 6 pi over 4. 6/4 reduced to 3/2. 6/4 plus another 1/4 would be 7/4. So this one would be 7 pi over 4. And 7/4 plus another 1/4 is going to be 8/4. 8/4 is going to be 2. So we end up again back at 2 pi. And we can do this for any equal measurement. As long as we're dividing the circle equally, we can just divide it by how many breaks we're making. All right. Thank you for watching.